All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this afternoon's live Q&A coaching call where we're going to be going over 2014 goal planning. So if you can, real quick before we go ahead and get started, I just want to make sure that you guys could all see my screen and that you guys can hear me loud and clear. So if you could just type in, yes, I can hear you, that would be great, and we could get everything moving along here. So want to welcome Mary, Kevin, Tony, Rich, Craig, June, Mick, Donna, Doug, Tasha, Sarah, Deb, Jeffrey, Alan, Ed, Lanford, Vincent, Stuart, Regina, Judy, Greg. Welcome, everybody. We're going to be going over some great information here. This is being recorded. I will post this up for you guys so you don't have to worry about jotting down a ton of notes. So I want to make sure that you guys are just, obviously paying attention. And if you need to write down some notes, definitely go ahead and get out that piece of paper and pen or pencil. But again, this will be recorded. We will be opening things up at the end to do a live Q&A for you guys. Want to really make sure that you guys have everything answered and are ready to rock and roll for 2014, since it's obviously just a couple days away now. So let's go ahead and get this started off. I'll go into slideshow mode. Everybody can see my screen. So guys, what we're going to be going over is obviously goal planning. And for those of you that see some of the emails that I send out, sometimes in my email signature I put plan, do, check, adjust. Okay? And that's kind of what we're going to be going over a lot of today, is making sure that we obviously have a plan, making sure that we do our plan, make sure that we check our plan from time to time, and if we need to, we adjust our plan. Because plans are we put plans in place, and they need to be adjusted from time to time, because sometimes you may hit a goal and you need to readjust and plan out a little bit differently so you could hit different goals. Because if you just leave very small goals, you attain them, you hit them, you need to obviously make much more harder goals that you need to obtain. And I'm going to be sharing some information with you on my own personal business plan. I'm not sharing the whole entire thing because it would take up more than we would have on this call, but I'm going to be sharing with you some key information that I think will be extremely helpful to everybody that is watching this now and will watch this as a recording at a later date. So with that being said, let's go over today's agenda, what the purpose is of this webinar. We're going to be going over how to prepare a business plan, how to add realistic goals, how to add action steps for attaining those goals, and how to adjust your business plan. Now, when I first got started off in this business, I never really put forth a business plan, which is, I believe, a huge mistake. The main reason why is you're the CEO of your company, and if you don't have a realistic plan, an approach to going from A to B and then to C and so forth, you're going to really set yourself up for failure. Now, this isn't a New Year's resolution call. I personally don't believe in resolutions. Some people do, that's great, but I see a lot more people set themselves up with very high unrealistic goals, and most people fail within the first 30 days of trying to do a New Year's resolution. I just personally don't believe in them. I'd rather focus on putting together a structured business plan that I could make realistic, and I could focus on that as the CEO of my business. Now, before I get into really sharing the guts of this webinar that I have prepared, the one thing that I really want to share with you, and going into 2014, this is going to be probably one of the most important things that I could share with you on this webinar, is this. Over probably the past 2.5 years, I've really been trying to dial in this one thing, and that is just being, just trying. I can't really control my thoughts. If you could control everything, you'd obviously be a perfect individual, and obviously everybody can't control their thoughts. Now, the one thing that I want to share with you is I've been trying to focus more on being positive with the thoughts that I produce. Because let's face it, if we're driving in our car and somebody cuts us off, we immediately want to, think negatively and maybe flip them the bird or say something, that's, very kind of just, it's not good. And, especially with me, having a 5 and a 3-year-old, I've really had to dial that down because, that's one of my pet peeves is, people tailgating me or doing just something obnoxious, that cut me off or they're driving really close on the side of me. Things like that, I would typically do something, roll my window down, say, hey, you're getting a little close, and trust me, it wouldn't be that nice. So what I've done, and I've really I wouldn't say perfected this, but I've really focused on it over the past probably 18 months, is really focusing on my thoughts. And, normally like maybe 10 years ago, if I was at the gym and I would see somebody walking around and they were in their tank top and they were walking around like they were all, big and all this type of stuff, I would say something to my friends, joke about it. And now, I look at it as, what? This person's in the gym. They're really making a positive effort on really making themselves healthy. They're in here doing something that 95% of the rest of the country is not doing. So I applaud them for that. So I've turned it from a negative to a positive. And, if somebody is super, super successful, the old me would have been like, I would have been completely negative inside. I would have been like, I would have been thinking negative things about that individual. I just would have been really jealous. And now, and this has been like this for a while. I've probably since probably 5, 6, 7 years now, I would say, if I see a very successful individual, especially somebody that's a lot more successful than me, that's why I've joined up in a mastermind in the past 2 years where I honestly am, and I have no problem admitting this, I'm the dumbest individual in the room. And I have no problem admitting that because when I'm in a room with other people that have businesses that produce 5, 10, 15, 20 plus $1 million a year, I'm fine with being the dumbest person in the room because there's nothing but learning for me and other people in there. So I've learned by being around those types of people and seeing how they react to certain things, it's really helped mold me into providing more information to others. I've been more helpful to others. Like this year for 2013 has probably been the biggest year that we've actually made donations and have been extremely helpful to other people. I've never really kind of come out and I'm not a bragger. I'm very humble about the things I have, and I'm always thankful every single morning, especially for, I've got a healthy wife, I've got 2 healthy boys, I've got 3 healthy dogs, we both have cars, we have a house, and those are things that I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for, if I could get up and, do a workout at the gym. Just the small things. It doesn't always have to be about the monetary things or the money. Just being thankful and being in a positive mood. And this isn't, I'm not trying to do like some sort of a self-help seminar on here. I'm just trying to tell you what I've done in the past that has really helped me reach my goals further than I've ever, dreamt. It's been a very, very successful year for us, and I'm just truly blessed. And I'm very thankful that you guys are taking time out of your busy schedules to even attend this. I know it's a couple days before New Year's Day, and I'm sure some people may be going out tomorrow, which is great. I hope you all have a great time. But needless to say, let me kind of go into what I've got planned. I wanted to kind of share with you those things. I'm not telling you to control your thoughts because that's, very unrealistic. But if you could start, really thinking about positive things that you can maybe say not just about yourself, but maybe others as well. I'm telling you, it goes a very, very long way, and it's really helped me out dramatically. And I guarantee it'll do the same for you. It's kind of like the movie The Secret. The one missing piece that they forgot, which is one of the biggest pieces, is you could think all these great things and try and manifest all this stuff, but if you don't take action, you don't have a plan to get to those things, you're never going to get them. Having a positive mindset on everything is great, but if you don't have the right steps to get there, you're never going to get it. So without further ado, let me hop in here. I don't want to take up too much time on going on that. I really want to go over what the intention of this webinar was. And lastly, we're going to open up things for a live Q&A at the end here. So let me share with you my own business plan here. And I'll show you at the end here the wrong way to put a business plan together. Because I've received some in the past, and people literally didn't put any time or effort or thoughtfulness into putting together a business plan as a CEO to accomplish anything successful within a full 12-month period. It's just, I sometimes think to myself, you know what? I barely graduated high school, never went to college, but yet I've read books, I've learned from very successful people, and I could put together a business plan. If you truly want to be successful in your business, you have to act like a CEO, think like a CEO, and do like a CEO. Okay? I'll show you what I've seen from a lot of people. If that's you, then I'm not trying to point you out or anything like that, but I have received it from multiple peoples, and I just want to show what I do as a business plan. It may be different from what you do, but if what you're doing is not successful, then you may want to try something else out. Okay? So one of the things in my business plan was read or listen to 52 books that I haven't read yet by or before December 31st, 2014. And these are only books that will help me within my personal and business aspects of life. Now, what I've already done, and I did this yesterday because my wife bought me some iTunes gift cards, is I went on yesterday. I already picked out 6 books that I wanted to make sure I put out, and I already started on accomplishing these plans early. I don't care if it has to be January 1st. I'll start right now, because the longer you wait, the longer it's going to continue to get postponed and postponed. So start sooner rather than later. Now, how I intend on getting to those 52 books and accomplishing those is each audiobook I've equated and I've looked at each one is typically between 5 to 7 hours long. So most of the books I've selected are between 4.5 and 6 hours in length. Some of them are maybe 3.5 hours. Some of them maybe 7 hours. It just depends on the book, obviously the length. And what I could always do too is, if you're listening to something on some sort of an iPod, iPhone, iPod, or iPad, you could speed up the sound of how somebody's talking. So if you want to speed something up from regular to 2 times, you can do that using just one of the devices that you would like to use to do that. So if you're really short on time, you could speed up the way somebody's talking by twice. And I did try that this morning. It didn't really sound too hard to listen or comprehend what they were saying. So it's really something cool that people really don't utilize, I think, especially if they're really on a time-sensitive schedule. Now, my goal is to listen to 45 minutes a day while doing a cardio session at the gym. So my plan is to do no more than 5 45-minute cardio sessions at the gym. I can complete 2 of my goals at once. And one of my goals is to get more active in the gym this year because I'm trying to do much bigger things with my martial arts. I practice Krav Maga, and I am currently in the process of becoming an instructor as well. That's something I want to do on the side as a hobby. Possibly, maybe someday down the road, open up my own school, but that's definitely a very long-term goal. But this is to get me back in shape, get me back on track, especially with being more disciplined with that and eating properly. So, in order to complete one book, I must do 7 to 8 sessions at 45-minute sessions. This equals 5.25 to 6 hours. Okay, 7 to 8 sessions. Now again, some of those books may be shorter, some of those books may be longer, but I've put together about 7 to 8 sessions. I'll be able to complete one book, and that's typically going to be on the higher end. So today I started listening to the book Braininfluence, and I already picked up some really great information. I actually did. What I did was I started listening to the book while I was going up the stairs to find a treadmill to find, and I actually did I listened to about 52 minutes worth. So I'm going to start probably focusing on doing that too, is just kind of get in focus and make sure that I'm ready to go. And I don't want to waste any time because my mornings are very hectic, and I want to make sure that I'm making the most out of my time that I have available. So that's one of the big goals, is to read 52 books. Now, is it a drastic goal for me? Absolutely. I maybe read 4 to 6 books. Well, 2013, I probably read 4 to 6 books. Now, I look at it as, if I only reach 50% of my goal, that's like 5 times more than I've read in the past like 2013. So I see that as still an accomplishment, but my goal is obviously 100%. I'm just trying to state, if I only hit 50% of that, I'm going to gain so much more knowledge than I did in 2013 than any other past years. Because I'll tell you, that's one of my strengths that I really want to focus on. Is I'm really good at taking in great knowledge and actually using it. So I want to start implementing more of this by finding out what successful people are doing within these books. So I highly recommend that you get on this with the books. It's definitely going to be great for somebody that practically failed in English and everything else in high school. It's actually been a blessing that I could go through these books, really comprehend stuff, and really get on a good track with being really good with taking in so much knowledge and creating things that I could use within my everyday business as a CEO. So let's go on here. This is more on my plan. One of my plans, and I do this every year, is create a monthly net passive income of a minimum of $4,000 and or yearly income of $48,000. So I always want to try and, if I want to maybe take some time off and go do some things, I want to make sure that something's always coming in. And I don't want to, be stressed out if I have to put in 80 to 100 hours of work because I felt like taking 2 weeks off. So I want to make sure there's always something coming in. And the ways I plan on doing that is I need to purchase commercial and residential properties to increase my monthly cash flow within my personal portfolio. Okay. So for example, I always put this in here, is one property that will cost me, and I'm talking probably Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, some other parts throughout the country that we're buying in. We're able to purchase properties at around $20,000. Some may be more, some may be a little bit less, but I wanted to put the average. So for example purposes on the webinar, you guys would kind of understand where I'm at with this. So one property that cost me $20,000 to acquire free and clear will approximately rent, depending on the area, for about $550 per month. So in order to get to my goal, I would need to get about 14 to 16 of these properties. That's the number that would be needed to obtain the net income goal, because you got to think about the operating income and the gross income, and then obviously the final number is your net income. So 14 to 16 properties at an average price of $20,000 would equate to $280,000 to $320,000. So obviously, I personally don't want to spend any of my own money. So I'm always a big component on OPM, other people's money. So there's different ways on how we get creative and structure deals to make it a win-win, not just for us, but for everybody involved. And the three options there's more options here, but I just wanted to give you guys kind of a rundown of what I do when I'm thinking about action steps. The action step on here would be raise capital with private investors warranting a solid return on their investment. So I want to make sure that, when I'm dealing with my private investors, that they're making a strong ROI. I want to make sure of that, because if I keep giving them a strong ROI and we keep doing great things with them, they're going to keep being a strong private investor for us. Second is find free and clear properties that have seller financing available. Some of these properties, I know it's not readily available. There are some people that will do seller financing up to 100%, mainly because they don't want to pay any capital gains taxes. If you're really familiar with certain tax codes and tax liabilities, I'd maybe speak to an accountant or a CPA about that. But you could really kind of talk to these people and let them know. And you could always pay a premium price too, especially if you're making a good rental income, or if you're doing a land contract. If you're making a good mortgage on that, then the seller financing would make sense, but you'd obviously have to do the numbers. And third, use private investor funds as down payment on seller finance deals. So if I have somebody that wants to, I found a free and clear property, maybe the person's out of state and they really don't want the property anymore. Let's just say it's worth $100,000, and they're willing to carry. We agreed on. Let's just say, for example purposes, they agreed to do a $60,000 sale, and they're willing to carry a 65% first, which would be great for them because they're not going to have any tax implications on capital gains taxes as long as they hold the property for a minimum of 2 years. So that would be a $39,000 first that they would do, and then for me, I would have to get like a private investor to come in and give me a $21,000 loan. Now, is that something that works out quite a bit for us? Yes. If we could give a strong ROI to our investor, that would be great, especially if we could show that we're going to be at 60% loan to value, or combined loan to value. That's a win-win for all parties, because if we foreclose or if something happens, everybody will be able to get their money back. So it's a win-win for everybody involved. So let's go more here on my plan. One of the main things obviously in our business is we need to find properties to wholesale, rehab, and or buy and hold. And the goals that I've put down, monthly wholesale goal is 6 to 8 deals at a $5,000 to $15,000 assignment fee. Buy and hold goal is between 14 to 16 properties per year. Now, the one thing I will tell you, I evaluate the business plan every 30 days. So if something comes up and I'm ahead of my goals, I'm going to go ahead and reevaluate and probably make those goals higher. Just because, I don't want to be at a mediocre level. I constantly want to be raising the bar for myself. Third is rehab goal is to renovate between 8 to 10 houses per quarter warranting no less than a $35,000 net profit. Deals will be found through wholesalers, direct sources, HUD site, foreclosures, short sales, absentee lists, free and clear lists, realtors, title companies, attorneys, probate lists, and so on. There's a lot of different sources that we use to find the properties that we need to. And we typically, for wholesale deals and buy and hold deals, we typically don't just buy in our own backyard. We do deals virtually, so we can do deals all throughout the country, and we don't just limit ourselves, like I said, to our own backyard. The rehab stuff, we tend to like to stay in our own backyard for that. We have had some rehab deals that are not residential that we will definitely do something if they're out of state. If it's a commercial apartment, like an apartment building, we will do that. So like one property that we're looking at right now, it's an 80 unit and 20 of the units need rehab. That's something that we would definitely consider. It's out of state, quite a few states away, and that's definitely something I would consider. How to source the deals, meaning, I've got the contacts, but I need to get in contact with the actual seller itself. I could do mailers, I could do postcards, I could use our direct sources for that. I could use Facebook through wall and group posting. I could also use LinkedIn for wall and group posting. I can make phone calls. I could have my VA do certain things with maybe sending out emails or making phone calls or doing certain things for us. Door knocking. I personally don't do door knocking anymore. I'll have somebody do that for us. But if you're starting out, you don't really have a big marketing budget, do it. It's not hard. If you don't like talking to people, then use my Post-it leave behind, where you just basically put up a Post-it, a yellow Post-it on the person's front door, and just what I typically put is please call. And then I put my phone number, and then below that I'll put thanks, Jason, and you'll receive a ton of calls off of that. It's a great way to get people to call your phone. Other way is voice broadcast. We use callloop.com. You could put a bunch of people's phone numbers in a targeted campaign, and you could record yourself and send out a voice broadcast to somebody. Super easy to use. Literally, you could probably send something out from setup time to finish within 5 minutes. You could do a skip trace. So if somebody is out of town, you can't get a hold of them, you could do a skip trace. And you could obviously email somebody if you have their email, and you could get emails through skip trace. So there's a lot of different ways that you could find and get in contact with sellers that are extremely motivated. I only want to work with motivated people if they start being, and pardon my French, if they start being a dick to me on the phone. I'll just be like, you know what, thanks for your time. It sounds like you're really not that ready to sell. So if anything pops up in the future, just let me know. But I don't think right now we're interested, and I'll just leave it at that and move on. I really don't want to waste my time with people like that. They're negative, and there's no reason for me to do that. I'll tell you right now, I know in the beginning, whenever you come across somebody that could be a potential deal, it's exciting, but trust me, as long as you keep working it and you keep doing things, you're gonna get to where you want, and you're gonna have plenty of deals coming in. You don't have to worry about people that are being extremely rude to you. Okay. All right. So let's talk about more on my plan. Let's talk a little bit about how I raise capital through private money sources. My goal, and this is just through private money. This isn't. We do have some possibilities of opening our own fund in January. We're still on the fence, so we're kind of thinking about it. But This is just private money. This isn't a fund or anything like that. My goal is to raise about $250,000 by or before end of quarter 1. That will help out a lot with using the funds to put down as down payment, doing some creative financing with talking with the seller, talking with the private money source, and doing some very creative financing to get into properties to either rehab or properties that you'd like to buy and hold. Certain things like that you could use as what we like to call value plays. If you're doing a buy and hold strategy, you eventually want to increase the value of the property and get both lenders off. You could do stuff like that by creating certain value within the property. How to find private money providers. Seminars are obviously great. Network with everybody. Self-directed IRA accounts, title companies, realtors, cash buyers, current private lenders. Those can be found through Public Records Office. You could send traffic to a website you have. You could do video marketing and leave it on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Have a VA post ads on all free classified websites throughout the U.S., RIA meetings, an accountant, a CPA, etc. Those are some of the places where we go to find certain individuals that we would like to raise capital with. We'll put some terms together and start raising some private money that way. So private money, the one thing that we make very attractive for everybody is the private money will be secured by real property. And what I mean by that is it's going to be secured by the actual real estate. So they'll be secured as a lien position on title. So if anything goes wrong, they'll be able to do whatever they need to do in order to get their funds back. So we typically do that by putting a promissory note in place, and we do that per transaction, and we complete that at agreeable terms between the lender and also myself. So that's something that we do to make that complete. And if you need a promissory note, we do have those available, or if you're using a title company could put all that together for you as well. We typically have our title company just put it together. It's super easy for them to do, and they could put an amortization schedule together and all that good stuff. Now let's talk about a bad example of a business plan, which I was talking about earlier. This is something that somebody sent, and I kind of made up the 5, but on Asset Manager Millions, one of the things, and also in Government Loophole Magic, we express, hey, put together a business plan and let us review it. So some of the things that we've received, this is not a business plan, because if you put make $500,000 in 2014, it's just like, okay, these are goals, but you have no strategic path on getting there. How do you plan on getting to $500,000? Do you have any idea of how many deals that would take in order to get there? What are the sources on you closing those deals? How do you plan on doing that? There's really no structure behind each goal. So what I typically write back is I'm like, well, how do you plan on getting to these spots? Or how do you plan on getting to each goal? And I hear back from them once, and then I'll try and follow back up with them to see how things are going, but nothing ever really progresses from there. The people that really succeed, with our programs are the people that really take it seriously as a CEO of their business and send us a really well put out business plan with proper action steps. We'll help review it. If we think something doesn't look right, if we think, hey, this is your first year in the business, let's take a more realistic approach, we'll send that to you in an email. But for goodness, you're the CEO of your business, take it seriously. Don't just go jumping around from course to course to course and then blaming the person that put out a course that, you're not successful. Trust me, we put out great programs. Most of the people that I've talked to in our business that are educators put out great programs. It takes two to tango, though. You have to go through it. It's not just going through the material and then going, okay, what's next? You have to, with any program you do, you should always have a business plan in place. Okay? So let's do this now. Let's answer some live questions from you guys. I don't want to take up too much time. I know tomorrow's New Year's Eve, so I don't know if some of you have family in town or not, but if you would like to talk, or if you would like to not talk and just send in a question, just type in your question, or if you want to talk, raise your hand by using the control panel provided to you by GoToWebinar. You can either use your microphone provided with your computer, or you can use your telephone, landline or cell phone. Once I see a raised hand, I'll unmute you and we could speak one-on-one with each other. If you can't speak live on the call, like I said, type in your question within the box provided to you by GoToWebinar. I'll make sure to answer as many questions as possible. If I don't get your question, send us an email at getglm@gmail.com and we'll make sure to get that all taken care of for you. Now, let me go ahead and exit out of the presentation mode. We'll start answering some questions here. Let me see if we've got any people with raised hands. Nope. All right, so let me go ahead and bring up some questions here. Let's see. I can hear you here in Indianapolis. All right, let's see. Jan asked, are all the live webinar trainings for Get GLM on the Get FLM website? All of them, yes, Jan, are on the Get GLM, and they're also with Asset Manager Millions as well. June, are there slides for this call or just audio? No, we've been doing a presentation the whole time. Okay, so it looks like something was wrong with my screen. Okay, so now people could probably see my screen. I was recording the whole time, guys, so I apologize about that. I will make sure that you guys do get a copy of this. I went through the whole entire thing, and it did record properly with me actually going through everything. I apologize about that. GoToWebinar has been acting kind of goofy for us lately, so I apologize about that. Brett asked, can you email out some of the books you're planning to read in 2014? Yes, I could do that. If you have a pen and paper, guys, I'll go ahead and let you know some of the books that I am planning on reading. Some of the books that I've already purchased on audio is Braininfluence by Roger Dooley. I've got Covert, Persuasion, and that's by Kevin Hogan. Another book is by Gary Vaynerchuk, and that's called Crush It. Why Now is the Time to Crush It, Cash In on Your Passion. I also, to be honest, a lot of people have read E-Myth. I've never read it. I heard that's a huge one to read. So I've got the E-Myth Revisited. I picked up Good to Great by Jim Collins, and those are the 5 books that I've already purchased, and I've already got them on my iPhone and plan on going through all of them. David, I guess I missed the meeting. The meeting started at 2:30 Eastern, so you're on Central Time if you're in Texas. Glenn, I arrived late. Is this the program for buying HUD homes at wholesale? Glenn, we went over strategic business planning for 2014, and some of that was going over how we buy HUD homes. Greg, what advice can you give on getting my first deal at pieces? I would, Greg, great question. Greg asked, what advice can you give me on getting my first deal done? I have the pieces in place, cash buyers, transactional funding, buyer's agent, etc. Not getting any accepted offers, 50% of list. I thought maybe I could come up with my offers, but the buyers aren't interested at a higher price. I would maybe try going in different areas then, Greg. We just had my good friend James close a deal while he was in Belize, and he did a deal in Idaho. We're actually going to be getting him on here soon. If you guys received the email that I sent out this morning and the other two that I sent out, we're going to be doing a call January 9th with Dwayne Ortega. He is, I believe, the owner of Best Transaction Funding. I've been doing business with him now for a while, but I don't know his title. I know he's always the big decision maker over there. But we're going to be having a call with him. He's going to be talking about how he could do your deals as a transactional funder. And it's going to be a great call. We just had James do a deal with him. It was a HUD deal. Did a same-day close at 1.75% for a same-day charge. So that's pretty low. That's probably the lowest in today's market if you're not using somebody yourself. Let's see here. Fred, did you say that you purchase wholesale deals nationwide? Yes, we do. It just has to make sense for us. Ron, can we still submit deals directly to you and Clint? Ron, yes, you could still send deals to Clint and I directly. We just recommend that you make sure that you've gone through the course and know exactly what our criteria is. Jan was asking, what was your first book title again? Braininfluence. It's spelled BRAINFLUENCE. So Brainfluence. Ron, that was my fault on people not being able to see the screen, the slides. Actually, I'll make sure that everybody could see all that information here soon. Francis, welcome. We'll make sure that you can see everything. I'll be posting everything up on the webinar here in just a little bit. In your meeting, you stated that there was a way to get funding for our deals. Is there a website or phone call I can call? David, yes, you can. Depending on what kind of funding you need, yes, we could help you out with that. If you're looking for transactional funding, you can go to besttransactionfunding.com. So again, that's BEST transaction TRANSACTION and then funding FUNDING.com. So besttransactionfunding.com. You can submit deals on there, and you'll get the great 1.75% rate. So let's see here. Great question from Anthony. He asked about the softwares that we recommend, RealFlow and REI Blackbook. It just really depends on your preference. I would recommend maybe talking. We could help you out with maybe talking to them. Maybe like you could do like a test, like a 7-day trial or something, and see if it's something that you like. I also have Rehab Valuator. Now that's a great tool if you want to put together like if you want to put really precise numbers together for rehabs that you're trying to get accomplished. If you're really trying to get rehabs done and you're really trying to raise private money, Daniil's made some really great software called Rehab Valuator. It's very, very inexpensive. Anybody could really come along, purchase it, and start using it. It's an Excel-based software that he's put together that's extremely useful. It puts together really good private money presentations. that you can use that shows really good ROI patterns, really great information. Fred, what course do I have to complete before I send you deals? We would like to see that you've gone through all of our government loophole magic program. Gary, what is good working marketing for 2014 and improve the negotiation skill? The direct mail is still one of the best marketing aspects within any business. I would highly recommend either like a direct mail piece or a postcard. Those work really, really well, especially for offline. Online, I would do a lot of YouTube video marketing. The YouTube always works really, really well and gets you ranked pretty quickly on Google as long as you use the proper keywords. And in Government Loophole Magic, I've put together a bonus in there to where you could watch how we get ranked pretty quickly by using certain search words and keywords to get ranked pretty well. So I'd recommend that. You could also buy traffic through Facebook and Google. Those are great ways as well. What market cities are you most aggressive in? We're pretty aggressive just off the top of my head because we do have a list actually. Tony, yeah, if you want, send us an email and we'll shoot over the information to you for where we're looking to buy in, because it is a lot of different states. Where is the website where this is listed again, or do you just email it to me? Donna, I'll just be emailing it to you. So I'll shoot that over to you via email. Are you still, this is from Anthony, are you still funding, partnering with AMM, GLM members on residential, commercial, note, and REO purchases? Will the fund you are thinking of be structured as a lender? Yeah, we're going to be structuring it as a lender, but we're also going to be structuring it as, having funds available for partnering deals. So yeah, we would be interested in talking with you about that, Anthony. That's definitely something that we would definitely talk to you about. Let's see here. Mike, any interest in purchasing notes that are performing for your passive income? Yeah, it just depends on what it is. If it's firsts or seconds, shoot me an email, buddy, and we'll have a chat about that. Is Government Loophole Magic still available? Yes, it is. I'll shoot you an email with the link. For those of you that don't have it, it's at getglm.com, and I just sent that over to you, Ron. I have a lot of properties. Let's see, with David. Investor has over 100 properties. I'm talking machines. Yeah, David, it sounds like a great deal. If you need help structuring it and you need people to help you out with the partnering on it, we would definitely come in with you on it. So shoot us an email. We would be interested in talking with you about that. So again, guys, I am sorry about the presentation, you guys not being able to see the slides. I will definitely make sure that I will post up the slides. You will actually be able to get to see them in the video that I've put together for you. And that's my fault. I can't see the comments as I'm in the slideshow presentation. So that's completely my fault. David, I'll shoot you over the email to send to, and we'll get you ready to go. All right, so you should be good. But guys, I'll put this up here pretty soon. I'll start rendering it right now. As soon as I edit it, it'll get into rendering mode and we'll be good to go. But other than that, I'll post it up so you guys can have it. I look forward to doing business with you. I look forward to partnering with you on deals and getting some deals closed. So if you do have some deals, you want to start doing some great things in 2014 with getting some deals closed, let us know. We're definitely very interested in doing that. Happy New Year to everybody that's on here right now, or they're listening to this as a recording. Very happy New Year to you guys. I hope you guys have a great 2014. And like I said, I look forward to doing a lot of partnering with you. Thanks for your time. Really appreciate it. Take care and be safe tomorrow. Talk to you soon. Bye.